Hi Virgo, welcome back for your general reading. This is going to cover everything including your Venus house. There is a separate read that is done for your romance. That is at Yildiz Readings, as well as I have launched a new channel, Twin Flame Alchemist Union. The link is inside. If you're wanting to make a booking, all the information is directly below. It takes you straight through to the website and you can pick a time, a date, a price range, anything that directly connects to you. Also, I do live sessions at Yildiz Readings connected to astrology, any of the energy, as it's changing. I'm a psychic medium. I also do cover the twin flame journey and any download psychically I get live at Yildiz Readings. Okay, let's have a look at what's coming up with you. And I have briefly looked over the cards. I've pulled them in various areas for you to cover all the general aspects. Obviously, when we had the eclipses, it has changed things, and I really did, especially last year, I felt that the transition between January and February would feel like 2018 to a degree. Also, moving into March, it does feel like the freshness and the movement physically forward. There is an aspect moving, and the way I was sort of feeling January to be, especially near the total eclipse, was almost like we were a deer in the forest, kind of really gauging, what happened behind us in 2018, potentially even further back, all the way through to what's going to happen in the future. And, really not having enough information to be able to fully move on certain areas, but having a hunch and a feeling as to what we did want and what we didn't want. If we're correlating the dots between what happened in the past and we're lagging that forward, that was really mentally triggering us. There is some interesting energies coming through with yours. Now, the unseen aspect of things is something in the heart of the matter is going to come to the surface. And very much when you do look at an eclipse, the transformation time frame can be 3 to 6 months for alignment to come into play. That can be either at a physical or spiritual level. It doesn't mean that there isn't movement. It means in order to create that totality of the balance, it can take up to 6 months. Anything really in January that was highlighted for you, you're going to find that you're going to start moving towards it, gaining a little bit more clarity, because it tends to be 3 days all the way through to 8 weeks where additional information comes through to you in relation to what you're passionate about, especially with the unseen coming up in heart chakra. The clarification card is authenticity. So, really being truthful, aside from everyone else in your life, what is relevant and what you're passionate about in your own domain. And I feel you're really going to want the duality with that. So I do feel your higher self knows what you want to do. Some of the pieces of the puzzle might not quite be there yet, but some of them are coming towards you to create that physical movement forward. As long as you're keeping truthful to yourself, I do feel that the movement's going to flow. It can also be an aspect of communication that's coming in written form for you. Interestingly enough, in your work and money sphere, you've got the love card in reverse. Now, it might be that you're trying to balance the relationship and I did see this coming through for you guys quite loudly this year, is trying to balance love and family and juggling things in the air, and very much connected to astrology. If I have time, I'll try and do it connected to each zodiac sign, what's coming through, if I've got time, but that can be more so March, doing chart by chart. With your energy, however, what was highlighted for 2019 was keeping that balance, a bit like the Libra and scales, and really moving forward and old karmic cycles phasing out and new chapters beginning, especially with the eclipse. So the clarification card, really the energy that's coming through with this, no need to do. Now on the card, when you read it, I am exactly where I need to be, exactly when I need to be. There is nothing more I need to do. I mean, yes, there will always be laundry and taxes, but in terms of my life path, I don't need to do anything because I am already here. I take a deep breath, relax and trust, and then do the laundry. They're comical cards. But the gist of it is, there's no wrong path. anything that's directly in front of you to deal with, either at a financial level, an employment level, you're in the correct space. Don't feel that you're missing a piece. Sometimes it's divine timing. So those of you who aren't working, it can be that you're going to be in the right place in the right time, especially with the unseen. You might be feeling, gee, you know, this job hasn't come in. What's going on? It's been taking a while to actually get back to me. January's usually quite like that regardless in common society, because the catch-up factor after New Year's, after Christmas, etc., then the backlog of work to get through paperwork can take some time. So if you are waiting to hear for communication in relation to a position, keep sending letters out or, you know, emails. I do feel communication is going to be coming in, and it is going to be your heart's desire. Any sense of balance when it does come to attaining employment, having employment, or, you know, fixing the aspect of the finances and balancing them out. There might be a lot on your plate, and that's the reason why it's not flowing at the moment, but you're in the right place. So keep doing what you're doing. There is going to be a positive outcome. It's just slightly delayed. You may also have a choice between two roads and you're not quite sure what to do. And again, it is about really getting grounded and understanding that you are in the right place. You do have an opportunity for some of you to choose between two paths. And there's no right or wrong path. It's more what is in alignment with you. And sometimes it can be a position that is actually less financially abundant than, you know, the other job. But it needs to be correct for what's going to fit you, your lifestyle. And some of you can actually, in employment, currently be assessing that. Is it in alignment with, you know, what's going on at home? Sometimes even that alone, even if it is imbalanced, our ego can tell us, hey, it's unfair, I'm doing this. But at the end of the day, sometimes lessons to other individuals directly around us shows where their power is and helps us actually problem solve the situations to find that balance as a team. In your education and lesson department, this is for those of you who are in higher education or studying, as well as any lessons that this month is going to bring for you. So I'll read it two ways for you. Something that pained you previously, it's a healing aspect coming through for you. It can be you're working in a healing field. It can be that you're doing counselling, studying in that domain. It can be to do with chakras and spiritual alignment. It can be that people around you that you're directly working with, you're actually learning from them. Be passionate about what you're wanting to do, you know, connected to this education if you're physically studying. If you're in alignment with it, it can be that you had gone through something and you were waiting for that balance to come through. And again, it's double clarification, because the clarification card is get centered. So you've got healing begins and get centered. So again, I keep feeling you've got a lot of balls in the air. You're dealing with a lot of things. You know, this can be at an emotional level, and the lesson is that you actually can deal with the aspect of the challenges, the adversity, multitasking. It's really a gift you have. You really do, as a zodiac sign, you're very meticulous when it comes down to the fine art of completing things. Stay focused, connected to the tasks you need to adhere to. Try and write a list down to actually get everything done. And it's going to take the pressure off you so it doesn't have to be in your third eye. You'll find if you are, and I'm feeling a lot of family dynamic again. So it might be that you're studying, for those of you who are in the education factor, and you're trying to keep the balance with everything and stay grounded with everything you went through in 2018 moving forward. January did feel overwhelming for a lot of people. So it's very natural that you're moving into it going, wow, you know, that was pretty interesting, especially after what we went through in 2018. If you can find a means to balance yourself, you're going to cope with the study aspect of things. And as for the lessons, it's going to teach you that the healing is the key. But as long as you keep grounded through any adversity you're going through, you're actually going to cope with it fine. I feel you'll probably really surprise yourself in that dynamic. Now, in your health and vibrational field, I do feel you'll be moving away from a health ailment. I also feel this has been an ongoing thing for some of you. It might have been, you know, something that you had been working on. This can be your diet. It can be, you know, physical activity. It can be moving away from one way of doing something to another. The health could be at a spiritual level where it's really impacted you and the vibration is going to increase. But I do feel within this situation, regardless, I do feel you'll have natural ways of sorting the situation. This could be anything down to diet. It could be down to certain food groups for some of you that's triggering you. There's different ways you can sort this situation, I feel. There may be several options coming to you, especially if you're undergoing a procedure. I do feel they're going to explain to you the various options. I don't have a bad feeling in relation to it. Also, for those of you who are getting triggered via your emotions at a spiritual level, you might find you're more inclined to comfortate at this time. So, you know, it can be logging down in a journal in relation to where the trigger points are, why they're coming up, having a key food group to go to actually help, you know, choose a different option to help you not go into that guilt mindset. The food may be causing ailments in relation to stress levels. So getting centered, I do feel it might be have preference to certain ways. And when I say that, I mean, how do I put it? It may be that what is being served might be against the grain of what your gut can accept. So again, food allergies, that's what I'm hearing. Regardless, the vibration is changing and it is going to get better, but it's going to have to be something that you're working on. Some ailment might have been there for a long time. And I'm hearing that, how do I put it? Some of you might be having issues with your feet at the moment, especially the footprints being shown here and the feet. I'm being drawn to it. It can be, you know, something within the feet, walking, aqua aerobics, something to that degree. Just be mindful of your feet. And again, there can be an aspect of the food group that can be actually triggering it. Talk to your GP. I mean, if you feel this is, I'm not a doctor, so receptively I can pick up what I'm sensing. It's really on your side of the fence too. If you're feeling concerned about an issue and you feel you need to get it checked, get it checked. How other people directly are affecting you at the moment in external situations. Some of them you might find you can't completely be yourself around at the moment. And it's not that you don't have the confidence, it's just, it may be you're taking your shine away to actually assist another person who's slightly more uncomfortable. Also, I just feel somebody might be a little bit down. So not necessarily does it have to be in general directly towards you, but you might be supporting somebody at an emotional level at the moment. This can be a loved one. It can be a family member. I don't feel it's the love interest, if that's relevant. I feel it's an external situation. It may be, but this person in general, I don't think it's people. I think it's a person. They're not feeling their vibrant self. Yeah. They're having trouble communicating that. You're sensing it. Follow your intuition about it and have the confidence to be able to communicate truth. It might be that you're holding it in, but you're needing to take a playful approach connected to it. I do feel if you take the bull by the horns, it's going to kind of plateau out and it'll be stable. Some of you may be thinking about moving. In your family domain, there might have been an old wound that's really haunted you. It can be a belief system you held of where your place was within the family. It may also be that you had a person pass over for some of you who that's relevant. Just picking up, there's extra information coming through. You have 5 guides around you at the moment. Now, these don't have to be of this lifetime. Sometimes we can have direct guides. We also have loved ones who have passed over. One of them may have had thyroid-related issues or heart-related issues. Another one I feel had a scar on the shoulder, and this might be just completely for one individual. I do feel you're having a rebirth within the family, though. It could be physically that you can hear of a birth of a child. It's going to make you happy. You know, whatever's coming through in the family, there is healing coming, and there's a great deal of love growing through the family. There are transformations. It's asking you to look at the simple things. You also need to be proud about the achievements you have made in your life. And instead of seeing the difference in you and what society feels your life should be, understand the beauty and the difference in you as something unique and valuable. Sometimes we can get to a state where we feel like we're the black sheep of the family. And I'm really feeling the energy coming through from your family that they do appreciate and love you dearly. We just tend to show it in different ways, and sometimes it can be strange ways, but I do feel the love is just shown in a different way. There's also a person who's passed over. They're wanting you to know a lullaby they used to sing you, and for one or two of you, this might have been a husband that passed over and they used to sing. And I'm hearing Elvis Presley. There's a connection to this person and Elvis Presley. Look at the way they're singing. Okay, in relation to travel, your movement and the way in which you wish to go depends on your mindset. And I feel at the moment for some of you, you're considering a road. It may be a holiday, but I'm thinking this is more movement in general for you. The travel aspect of things very heavily for Virgo is coming through as in which way to proceed forward. I do feel you've got a lot of goals this year. You're not looking at, God, how am I going to do that? I've got to do that. This is what I wish to achieve this year. I do feel you're really going to take the bull by the horns and achieve many of these tasks. And I don't even think you're considering an aspect of not achieving these things. But you have to be gentle with yourself if there's a delay. But as long as you have clarity within yourself and belief in yourself, these dreams, hopes and ambitions you have in movement are completely doable. For those of you who are a left or right, again, I'm hearing waiting upon communication, okay? This communication coming in, awaiting results. So movement as to left and right. You're looking at what can stand up, what can hold the distance, what is the strongest path, what is the best way. You're not entertaining anything at a lower frequency. But you know, regardless, you can handle any path you need to take. You know you have the backbone and the stamina to do it. Sometimes we don't wish to do certain things, but we know if we had to, we could. And that's the energy coming through. I do feel by June, July, a lot of this movement is going to be completed. And again, I keep feeling this energy of movement. I do feel many of you that do have a home, there is the hope at some point to move. For those of you who that's relevant, this is more the people that are like, we need to move. But we're okay right now, but we might do it soon. It will happen sooner than you think. And if that is sort of like the divine order of how things are supposed to be, I'm seeing the blocks in the road and the P's and Q's and the dots. It'll be sorted out and it will flow very smoothly for some reason. Now, in your romance house, For those of you who are single, I do feel an opportunity is going to be presented. Again, I am seeing the connection to the eclipse. It might have been something that was delayed. You thought it was coming through. For some of you, this can be a twin flame path, a high vibration soulmate. This is someone you've been waiting on. Now, this energy feels as though it is flowing. Within 4 weeks, I feel you may have more clarity, and it doesn't have to come from the person. It can be purely the belief in yourself of what your truth is. And sometimes when we know the truth, we need to step away from ego and understand, even in the past, if things were toxic, nothing ever stays the same forever. So there is movement in the love domain, be it you coupled or single. Never say never and never say always, because nothing ever stays the same. And I do feel for you guys, you may have a surprise on the cards when it does come to your romance house. Do understand that within your romance house, you can still have your own individual world, because you both have 2 worlds, but you share them. Some of you may be prioritizing their road or your road more so, because the energies can switch. But you do want to take a leap of faith into some dreams that will be relevant and important for those of you who are in relationships. And the love and the passion in your life will really come through into this relationship and really fill it quite abundantly. So if you are stuck at the moment, especially at a romance level, try not to get too triggered, because I do feel it is a temporary stance. I do feel there's change going on there. I will see you during the month for the live sessions, obviously connected to astrology. I will be doing live updates, and, you know, I may cover the aspect of the zodiac signs. If you pop in and ask questions, I answer them. And I will see you during the month. Love and light.